Today, I'm talking to somebody that if you're struggling with your sales and marketing, you've probably read one of his blogs or visited his website. Or if you're into using decent water-based paint, you should probably use some of his paint. Anyway, find out what I'm talking about after this. Today, I'm really pleased to be talking to the author of this book, Sales and Marketing for Decorators, John Mears. Like I said, what he doesn't know about sales and marketing isn't really worth knowing. 200 pages of mindset, sales and marketing hints and tips to help you increase the profits of your business. $14.99 on Amazon. Like I say, if this can't help you improve your profits, then I really don't know what to advise you do. Anyway, let's see what John said when I spoke to him earlier in this interview. Here with John Mears. And John, tell us a little bit about why you decided you needed to write the book. Or what inspired you to write the book?
Yeah, well, it started at the beginning of the year, just before we went into lockdown. I started a blog website with the idea that I was going to take my sales and marketing knowledge and pass it on to painters and decorators, obviously small business owners, painters and decorators. There isn't a lot out there to help them with the business side of things, the sales and marketing side of things. So I started just writing a blog and started putting some up, and it started getting some traction. And then before I know it, people were suggesting that I should write a book. And I thought, okay, right, if people are going to buy it, why don't I try it? And then started writing it and got really into it. It took probably quite a bit longer than I anticipated, but I'm really pleased with how it's come out, and initial feedback's been really good. People are saying that it's helping them a lot. And for me, the whole thing is, I want to share what I know about sales and marketing to the rest of the industry, with the hope that, if we all just start sharing knowledge like this, then the industry is just going to get raised up. People are going to start earning more. People are going to get valued by their customers a lot more. And I think sales and marketing is the key to that for a lot of decorators.
I mean, you do mention this in the book that people are scared about raising their rates and, I can't charge that in the area I'm working. In the book, you do explain how to do it and how to add the value so that you can ask for more money, and you're not. I think sometimes decorators feel embarrassed. They think that they shouldn't be earning that amount of money, or asking for that amount of money. I mean, we do a very valuable job. We can make a difference between a good job and an absolute rubbish job, or making a rubbish job and a good job. Rather,
I think it's like the curse of the decorator. So many of you you're too honest, and you feel like you can't charge what you're actually worth. You're worth a lot more than you are, and I think part of the book is showing you how to have the confidence that you can charge more. So it is teaching you that what you do is very valuable. But then it's the main part of it is showing you how to talk to customers and explain to them that what you're doing is a real high-class service, and it should be valued a lot higher than it is. So by the time you read the whole book, the general aim of it is that everybody that reads the book should be able to confidently add £20 a day onto their day rate or whatever, however they price it, if they price by meter, so that you're earning £20 a day more, which is $5,000 a year more. And if I can do that for 1,000 decorators, I'll be a very happy man.
Yeah, and it's not a great deal. I mean, like I say, reading your book, which I have, then asking for an extra £20 a day, you should be easily better do that easily. I think you could easily double that and put another. If you follow every step, and it's not going to be, the process is not going to be overnight. It's going to be a step-by-step process, and it's going to be probably looking at 6 months, I would have thought, to get it, to get all the processes in place to be able to do a decent job and be able to get your sales in place, your Twitter, your Facebook, and do all those sort of things. It's just, but as long as you do I think if you read a section a day and then worked on it, or section a day, took a section each week rather, worked on it, you could then, over a period of 6 months, easily make a big difference to your business.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of if you just make a 1% improvement every day, it keeps compounding and compounding, and before you know it, you've made huge strides. And that's what the book should help you do. Is it takes, a basic sales and marketing technique or strategy. It will break it down into the context of being a painter and decorator. It shows you how to implement it into your business, why you should do it, how you should do it, and how it will benefit your business.
Yeah.
And once you put that in place, then your business is, that 1%, 2%, 3% better than it was last week. And the idea is that each week, like you say, or each month, you keep making improvements. And if you were to implement everything in the book, then absolutely, I agree. You should be more than confident in being able to charge £40 a day more. And it won't be just a case of just putting your prices up, because you've developed every aspect of your business. You'll be attracting much better quality customers that will be expecting to pay a lot more. So that's what it is I've just tried to take as much as I know about sales and marketing and break it down into simple to implement ideas that you can just automatically put into your business and start earning more money, and importantly, start working for customers who actually value what you do. Customers that aren't price driven, customers that realize that painting and decorating is a proper skill form, and a good job is hard to come by. So you need to pay for it.
Yeah. So when you're writing the book, what was the most enjoyable part? Which bit did you sort of think, I'm really sort of enjoying this? This is really sort of giving me a kick. I'm getting along with it. And it's, the words just flowed out and you had no problem writing it.
Yeah. The social media section was, I dedicated, like, the whole middle section of the book is all about social media, how to use each platform. But there's loads of stuff in there to do it without paying any money, to do it all completely free. And I tried to put it into ways that, you don't have to spend hours a day on social media to make these tactics work. You can do it in 15 minutes a day, no problem. But I love using social media, and I've used it for my personal blog and for all my businesses, working for Andura and everybody else that I worked for in the past. Social media has always been a big part of what I do. So writing about it was great. And I started diving into, before writing the book, I'd not done of paid advertising like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Twitter, that sort of thing. Yeah. So as part of the book, to research it, I started spending money on Facebook ads and stuff, and trying to work out how it works. And that led me down a route on, okay, how do you start writing effective sales copy and headlines and stuff like that to get the attention? So, there was a lot of money spent by myself and trial and error, learning, okay, how do you put together an effective paid advert on Facebook and stuff like that to grow your business? So, it was nice because I love social media in general for growing your business, but to sort of go down that new route where I was spending money for the paid ads and seeing that return on investment come back was brilliant. So I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned one of my heroes on social media, Gary V. If you watch any of his videos, they become quite addictive, don't they? Because he's got so much passion that it's infectious, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, he's a funny one. So Gary Vaynerchuk. He was probably the main reason I started the blog. So I'd watched a load of his stuff on YouTube before, and I sort of passed him off as just a bloody overly energetic American. Don't worry about it. And then I sort of got pulled back to watching his videos, and I was like, okay, maybe this guy's got some good ideas. And I started watching more and more, and then I was like, okay, I like this guy. So then I read his book. I read 3 of his books, and at the end of the book, it just says, why don't you just set up your own blog site, just see what happens? And it says, go to godaddy.com, register a domain, go on WordPress, set it up. And this was on a Sunday night, and I literally just went, do you know what? I'll do it. And within 24 hours, I had my own personal website set up, and I posted my first blog on there, and that was it. And then we went into lockdown like 2 or 3 weeks later, And I thought,
Yeah.
well, while I'm on furlough, I'll start writing some blogs and putting them up, and that's where it all started. Yeah, it was basically a Gary V book that you think, go on, I'll give it a go and see what happens.
And he's very much the same sort of thing, and he do something instead of doing nothing. He'd add a few more expletives in there when he says it, because he does like the old F-bomb occasionally, doesn't he? But he does, it's just do something rather than just sitting there and do nothing. It's stepping stones. And he takes a long-term view as well. I mean, he's sort of talking 10, 15, 20 years, isn't he?
Yeah, that whole sort of mindset shift for me, and there's a lot of people like this, and I was certainly like it until I started this. You just sit there and you think, I work hard, it's not happening for me. I know what I'm doing. I'm reasonably intelligent. I work hard at what I do, and then you think there's so much of it where you just think, sometimes you've got to just do it and just go for it and see what happens, and just sort of leap. And so I thought, well, I'll start a website and I'll start writing some blogs, and if nobody reads it in the first 6 months, oh well, at least I tried it.
Exactly.
I'm one step ahead of anyone else, and it's about just putting yourself out there a bit more. When I released the book, I was like, for the weeks running up to it, well, I knew it was obviously going to come out, and I was like, oh, I've spent a lot of effort on this, and what if nobody buys it? Everyone just goes, yeah, all right, cheers, and it's just my nan and my mum buy it. You put yourself out there, and it's happened. But even if I didn't sell any copy, no one can take away the fact that I've written a book, which is a big achievement for me, and I'm proud of it. And, that's it. It's just, and these things, they tend to just lead to other opportunities that you wouldn't expect. I wouldn't be on a call doing this with you now if I hadn't started the blog and written a book and done this, that, and the other. So sometimes you start down one path just by saying yes to more things. It's like that film, Yes Man.
Exactly.
You just start saying yes to more opportunities. You start doing it, and then before you know it, you've gone down this new path, and all these opportunities are opening up, and that's what it's all about for me. Just putting yourself out there a bit more.
So we've spoke about all the good bits. What bits of the book did you struggle with? What did you find particularly difficult that you were scratching your head and thinking, "Oh God"?
The writing of it I loved, and the research and everything I did in it, I loved all that bit. I think it took me from start to finish, I think it took me about 100 hours to do it, and I think 40 of those hours were after I'd written it all. So 40 hours of proofreads, edits, just formatting it so that it can get uploaded onto Kindle was like 2 evenings of just pulling your hair out trying to get it all right, and then formatting it so that it can be printed properly. And you think, I wrote this book like weeks ago, I just want to put it online now so that people can buy it, but there's so much more work that you have to do. I mean, I must have read the book 5 or 6 times right through now, and there was like, I know that it takes me about 5.25 hours to read it, because sometimes I've just had to sit there on a Sunday and just read it on my computer screen and go through it again, and then send it off. And my sister did the proofread and stuff like that. I don't know how she had the patience for that, but and then I'd have to go through and sort out of all of her amends and everything like that. So it's just, once you've written the book, you sort of think that's it, but it's nearly that much work again to get it over the line and available. And then you got to start publishing it and pushing it out to people and promoting it and stuff like that. But in fairness, that's sales and marketing. I love sales and marketing, so I'm happy trying to push the book out and sell it to people.
So what do you think is the most valuable piece of advice that is in the book? What is the little golden nugget, without giving too much away? I mean, I found there was like lots of decent bits of people, lots of bits that make you think, right. And you've been doing it so long that way that you think, well, that's the way to do it. But, you're on about sorting out the way you do your proposals, the way you put quotes out, following up quotes, which not a lot of people do. It just makes you think, oh yeah, maybe if I did that. And, you've only got to be a little bit different to make a big difference to the sort of run-of-the-mill general painters and decorators that will just give someone a quote and then forget about it. They don't bother, phoning up, chasing up the quote, and you've got some really good ways and ideas of how to do that. And I think, it's just great. But that doesn't get me away from the question I just asked you. What is the most valuable piece of information or the best bit you've got, do you think?
I think the biggest thing for me, and I think I say it at the start of the book, the first section, the book's broken into 3 sections. There's mindset, marketing, and sales. And I put mindset at the top. And I think I say in the book, if I only had time to talk to you about one thing, it would be mindset, because that is how you can just change everything that you do with sales and marketing and your business in general. And it's that.
And if you haven't got the right mindset and you don't want to make a change, then don't bother. Stop right there.
That's absolutely it. Yeah, it's that mindset of constantly thinking, can I do that a little bit better? I talk to a lot of decorators. A lot of decorators will send me their like proposal templates and quotes and stuff like that, and they'll send it over and go, "Oh, this is what I do. What do you think this looks like? Is it all right? Any improvements I can make?" And 9 times out of 10, it will be just a bog standard works instruction. Essentially, it'll be living room. I'm going to prep, fill, prime 2 coats. Bedroom, same process, and then that's it. And then a price at the bottom. And it
to be honest, John, that sounds a lot like mine.
It's just estimated cost for materials, estimated cost of time, labor, price, job done. And I look at it and I think, if you just change your mindset and think, okay, every decorator's got a proposal like that. Every decorator sends their quote like that. So why don't you just try and do something a bit different? Put a pack together. Page number 1, you've got why choose my company? What's different about me? There's a photo of you or something like that. Something makes you stand out. Page number 2, you've got some testimonials or maybe a case study from someone similar. Page number 3, okay, now we're talking about the work that's going to be done, how it's going to be done, why it's going to be done like that. Can you use graphics to make it look a bit prettier? It's a little bit of IT work, but you can do all of this on PowerPoint. And the idea is you can put this quotation pack together, and 9 times out of 10, it's just you'll use that template, you'll change the name at the start, and you'll change the cost of materials and stuff like that, and send it off. But it looks a lot better. And then just every time you've got half an hour or so, you'll sit down and go, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll add that into my proposal pack. And after 6-12 months, the document will keep evolving, and you'll have this proposal pack that might be 10 pages long, which is just jam-packed full of information. It might have FAQs and stuff at the back. As a decorator, I'm sure that customers probably ask you the same 5 or 6 questions every time you go and do a quote. Why don't you do a nice little FAQ section at the back? Direct them to your social media and stuff like that. So it's just about change that mindset to, number 1, how can I give a lot more value to my customer, and then show them that, and then just always be looking to improve every aspect of your business. Just keep tweaking and testing and trying new things. That's what it's all about. And that and persistence. Persistence is massive in sales. You're going to get told no a lot. So you've got to get used to rejection. Once you start charging higher and higher prices, there are going to be more and more people who can't afford you. You've got to get used to that, and you've just got to keep pushing and start working harder to generate more of the right leads. So don't be afraid to get knocked back.
And you might your strike rate might go down, but the people that you are working for, you're going to be working less but earning more, which is the perfect combination. I think it's the way to go.
And this is another one of those things that you say that decorators often feel bad for charging too much money and stuff like that, and it seems to be a badge of honor to work every weekend with decorators. And I think we need to stop having the mindset of and win every job. Absolutely, only use word of mouth. I think we need to move that mindset to let's run this like a proper business where I'm going to work essentially 9 till 5 or 8 till 4 or whatever. I'm going to do 3 or 4 days a week, because the other day is going to be an office day, doing my finance, doing my quotations, doing all my lead generation and my marketing work. And
this again, John, this is a mindset thing, isn't it? Decorators think if they've got a brush in their hand or a bit of sandpaper or they're rubbing something down, they're earning money. They don't think that to get the brush in your hand, you've got to do the other side of it. So take a day off, take your Monday off or your Friday, and make sure that you're actually making some use, because that is more worthwhile time, invested than have it, or even if it's an afternoon, just spend some time, on your sales and marketing, because it's more and more important. 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago, you could get away with it because you'd have an ad in the Thompson, you'd have an ad in the Yellow Pages. That'd probably be enough for you. But now there's so much more that you've got to do, to keep on top of everything. You've got to juggle so many balls in the air that I think you do need to dedicate a bit more time to the sales and marketing side, because if you don't, somebody else will.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think that the customer chooses you before you've even opened a tin of paint. So no matter how good you are and what an amazing finish you deliver to that customer, they've chosen you before you've done any of that. So it makes sense that all of your sales and marketing should be building, that image and that value, and showing that you are a top-class decorator and you charge a lot of money. You should be spending a lot more of your energy on making your sales and marketing perfect, because, like I say, the customer chooses you before you've even opened the tin. So it's that, and it's changing that mindset of, like you say, people think as long as you've got a brush in your hand, you're earning money. So they think, if I work 10 hours a day or 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, I must be doing well. Well, that's not the case. You shouldn't just be equating hours worked to how much money and how much value you're offering. If you're offering an amazing service, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing it in 3 days a week and earning just as much money.
Yeah. And I mean, the bit I like as well in the book is the bit about word of mouth and how that is possibly the worst type of advertising you can have. Don't give too much away, but it's very controversial, and again, that's seen as I don't advertise. All my work's word of mouth, but it can be a spiral, and it can actually, you can be in a place where you can never sort of up your rates because it's all word of mouth. And we put a post on the forum the other day, didn't we, on own a decorating business, and that was exactly that. There was a few posts there saying, well, I'd done work for Mrs. Jones. I did work for a friend, and there was an argument because of the price difference of a layout. And that's what you're in, and you don't upset her because they know her, and it's just, you don't want to be in that situation. You don't, But anyway, read the book and find out how to get out of it and why you can be in that situation in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will say, having good word of mouth is a good thing. You want people to be talking positively
to start your business
about your
off.
business.
Yeah, that's where you need to be.
But the point is, it's not a strategy. It's not an advertising strategy. It's not a marketing strategy. You can't predict it. You can't rely on it. You can't, you can't sell the business if all of your work just comes as word of mouth. Because of your person. And even if you don't want to sell the business, it's not a scalable model. You end up getting just forced down a path that you might not want to go down. You might want to start charging more money and working for a higher class of customers, but all of a sudden Mrs. Jones has referred you to Mrs. Miggins, who's referred you to Mrs. whoever, and you're doing the same sort of low end work. 12, 18 months down the line, you think, how the hell did this happen? I'm working 7 days a week, not earning much, and I'm not working for the customers I really want to work for. And you don't know how to change it because you'd never sat down and built a proper marketing strategy where you can generate leads of the type of customer you want. Yeah.
I mean, like I say, to start with, it's brilliant. It's if you're thinking of going out on your own, then yes, but try and get out of that loop as quickly as you can, I think, and generate your own work and your own leads. Really, that's what you want to be doing. So we've gone through all that. Is there any?
You need to have a system in place.
Exactly. So is there any part of the book that you think you've written the book and then you thought, I really should have included that. Is there, or have you actually everything you wanted to put in there? Have you got in that book?
Yeah, no, if
This book.
anything, I feel like I should have took more out of it, but I wanted to leave everything in.
Looking at it, you know, there's enough. There's a good 2 books there easily. You know, you're getting very good value for money, without a doubt.
Well, that's part of what I wanted to do. I wanted to just put it all out there and just go, look, here's everything I can do to help you as a painter and decorator. I'll put it in real short chapters so you can read a chapter on your 10 o'clock tea break or on the toilet or whatever you're doing. It's broken down into real short chapters so that you can read it easily. But I just wanted to put everything in there. And I think if there was a good thing, I told you, obviously, once you'd written the book, it takes like another 40 hours to get it to the point where it's published and online. Yeah. The blessing of that is anything I thought wasn't quite right, or if there was something else I just wanted to add in, I did it in that period. So I've done it, and I've sort of left it, and I thought, yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else I'd want to add to that. So I'm pleased with it. Yeah, that's literally the last 15 years of my life in sales and marketing put into 239 pages. So that's it. I'm happy with it. I want to add. It means I've got no ideas for a second book, but maybe they'll come later down the line.
that was my last question then, John. I was going to say, but although it says sales and marketing for decorators, really, this could be turned around to any trade. It's it's valuable for any trade. Yeah. It's just because it says decorators on there. There's no reason why Sparkies, Chippies.
Well, this is it. It's any sort of small business, any trade could benefit from it. All the core principles are quite universal. I've written it for decorators because that's my industry. That's the industry I love, and they're the customers that I wanted to serve. So you've read it, obviously. Everything is put into the context of being a decorator. Every example is for that. So a chippy or a plaster or whatever wouldn't get as much out of it as maybe a decorator would, but there's still a lot in there that would work for them. A lot of these easily.
Sorry, the foundations they could use, the basics is ideal. It's transferable easily.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, nearly so much of these they're universal principles and strategies and stuff. I use them in what I do. I'm not a painter and decorator, but universal tactics and strategies, I've just sort of funneled them down and focused them in on, okay, these are the ones that will work best for a painter and decorator. I think hopefully some other trades and stuff get hold of it and find some value in it, but my house is a decorator.
So like I say,
decorators fix everything.
So at the moment, then there's no plans for a second book. You've given it all in this one, which is there you go. Yeah, that's what you need to be getting hold of. So you've give it your all.
I love how many plugs we've got here. Now I've sort of got the taste for it. I quite like writing, and I think maybe at some point I'll write another book. What it will be on, I don't know. It might be that I'll take something from the first book and just do like a real deep dive on it. We'll see what the feedback is. If I wrote this book on feedback from people on what they wanted to hear and what they wanted to learn about. So, if people come to me and say, look, I'm interested in this, I want to learn more about that. And the more people that come to me with ideas on what they want to learn about, then I'll start doing blogs for it and videos and stuff like that. And maybe that'll end up in another book specifically on, the questions that painters and decorators have.
Yeah. So finally, before we finish, is there anything you need to add or you want to talk about before we wrap it up, John? It's available on Amazon, the book.
Yeah, it's available on Amazon, Kindle $9.99, and it is on paperback for $14.99. It's also available in a load of countries. Yeah, you can get it. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon.com. So if you're in America, you can buy it. I don't know if you've got an American audience, maybe. But if you're in the USA, you can get it. Italy, Germany, Australia, Brazil, Mexico. I haven't sold any copies there yet, but maybe there's some guy in Mexico who wants to read my book.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's available on Amazon.
Okay.
I want as many people to see it and benefit from it. And anyone that reads it, feel free to reach out to me and talk to me directly. You can get a hold of me via my website. I'll always, if you've got more specific questions about your business, I'll always respond to every email and help people out where I can.
Brilliant. Okay, well, yeah, get to Amazon, download it, buy it, read it, and start making improvements to your business. I hope you found that little interview useful. John and I could have spoken for ages about his book, but the best way to find out more about it is to actually go on Amazon and buy it. What I'd do is put a link in the description below. It's an affiliate link. All that means is it won't cost you any more, but it just means I'll get a few pence out of the sale if you buy the book, which will be handy with things the way they are. But anyway, like I say, there is so much in the book that even if you did one or two of the things that was discussed or John spoke about, it'd make a difference to your business. So if you take your business seriously, you want to make a difference to how much you earn. 14.99, 15 quid is a real small price to pay to be able to make such a big difference to your business. Anyway, if you want to find out more about it, email me, drop me a message in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy one of these two that are on the screen now. Anyway, until next time, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.